So good morning everyone, my name is Maithili and my matrix number is 3000927. So today I would like to first demonstrate the system that I will be testing based on the article that I have chosen. So we have our system, which is the gym management system that we have chosen that belongs to another user from GitHub. Alright, so first this will be the home page, and then we will move on to the login page, and we are going to log in as the admin so that we can do the next step. So this is the username of this particular person, and then we will input the password and we will log in. And when we log in, we will be moved to the dashboard and you can see the AdTrainer module. So this will be the module that we will be testing mainly for our project. So as you can see, there are a few text fields, which is the name, username, password, confirm password, street, city, and also phone. So these are the text fields, and this is the module that we'll be testing with the adaptation of the methodology that we will adapt from the article. Okay, so this is the methodology that we will be using throughout the testing process. Okay, so firstly, we have imported the code repository from the GitHub that belongs to another user named Ishwar. So we have taken the code from them, and then we'll be implementing the testing process. So we have a few testing process that we will implement throughout the process. So the first one will be the unit test, and then followed by the integration test, configuration test, and performance test. So we have used a lot of tools to do this test, and one of it will be the Python. So we use the unit test Python to do the unit test. And moving on to the integration test, we use Catalan. And also for configuration test, we read the browser compatibility, whether it runs on different browsers perfectly or not. And moving on to the performance, we use the JMeter, so Apache JMeter, to do the performance test. And for the acceptance test, we had to ignore it because according to what we have gone through, we found out that acceptance test is not suitable to be done among the students, and also it takes a lot of time, as well as we have to collect and come up with the questionnaire, and yeah, so we have to test it. So I feel like logically speaking, it is not it's not doable, so we just ignored the acceptance test. And then we have the test log. So when it comes to the operation logs, we did not we had the operation logs, but we did not use it because it is more for the business analysis and it has no impact on the testing process. And with the test log, we have done the test optimization. So the test optimization was done with Python. So with the test log that we gained from the unit testing, integration testing, and performance testing, we have done the test optimization that requires us to calculate the time and also the risk. And the reason of this test optimization is to make sure that the system is efficient. Right, thank you. So good morning everyone.
This output shows the execution result of the unit testing for the AdTrainer module using Python unit tests. 3 test cases were executed successfully, which are valid trainer registration, empty username validation, and password mismatch validation. The execution completed in 1.681 seconds, and all tests passed successfully, indicated by the OK result. For the unit testing part, I used Python unit test to test the AdTrainer module. 3 test cases were executed, which are valid trainer registration, empty username validation, and password mismatch validation. The output shows ran 3 tests in 6.193 seconds, OK, which means all test cases passed successfully without any errors or failures. This confirms that the system can correctly accept valid data and reject invalid input based on the validation rules implemented in the backend. For the unit testing, for the test optimization part, I applied optimization to prioritize the important test cases instead of running all tests equally. The optimization was based on 3 factors, which are risk level, failure history, and execution time. The output shows the optimized execution order where TC0302 has the highest priority, followed by TC0303 and TC0301. This means the system will execute more critical and failure-prone tests first. By applying test optimization, testing becomes more efficient while still maintaining important test coverage.
Okay, so hi, my name is Faiz. So next I will be presenting the integration testing parts for our gym management system project. So for the integration testing, our objective was to verify that the front-end modules could communicate correctly with the back-end system and the MySQL database. So I use Catalan Studio to automate the testing process and the JDBC connection to validate whether the submitted data was successfully stored in the database. So the module tested were add member, add equip, and add receptionist and add trainer. So instead of running one by one test cases, so I combine all of the four test cases into one test suite. Test suite. So easy to say for each test cases, the process was similar. So the admin logs into the system, fills the form, submit the data, and then we validate whether the information is correctly inserted into the corresponding database table. For example, the add member stores data into the members table, and then the add equipment stores data into the equip table, and so on. So um, the result there, all of the four test cases passes successfully. So these mean that the front end forms communicate correctly with the back end, and then the back end processes the request correctly, and also the database successfully stored the submitted data. So so far, no, there is no integration or like connectivity error were detected. Okay, so hi, my name is Faiz. So next I will be presenting the integration testing parts for our gym management system project. So for the integration testing, our objective was to verify that the front-end modules could communicate correctly with the back-end system and the MySQL database. So I use Catalan Studio to automate the testing process and the JDBC connection to validate whether the submitted data was successfully stored in the database. So the module tested were add member, add equip, and
Assalamualaikum and good morning or good afternoon to sir. First of all, my name is Nurul Nadira bin Zulkifli, and today I'm going to presenting about the configuration testing. I am going to demonstrating about the browser configuration testing from our DevOps quality assurance project, specifically for test case form display, which verify that our gym management system homepage display correctly across different browser. So this is important because different users might use different browser. So we need to ensure that everyone have the same experience and also the same result, whether they use Chrome, Firefox or Edge. So here is what we have tested. So we verify that homepage display correctly in three different browser, which is the first one is Chrome, second is Firefox, and last one is Edge. So these three browser represent about 90% of global usage. So what we check is basically that is the navigation visible, or is the welcome message clear, and also are the layout correct, and lastly are all the elements are properly aligned or not, something like that. And then the result that we get is basically 100% pass, meaning that all the three browsers rendered the home page identically with no issues. So next, let me show you the live demonstration about using the different browsers. Now we're going to do the live demonstration for the browser configuration testing. Okay, now we want to test using the Chrome. Looking at this Chrome version, we can see that the navigation bar at the top menu are clearly visible, and then the welcome message, welcome to gym management system, are clearly display centered. And then all the texts are readable and also no broken element or issue. Okay, next we're going to test for the Firefox browser. Now we are at the Firefox page. So let's say that if we want to open the gym management system, so as you can see that it is similar to the Chrome, which is the navigation look identical to Chrome, and then the welcome message also display the same way, and all the layout and the text are readable and centrally aligned. And then we going to test for Edge's browser. So now we are at Edge's page, and then also similar to the Firefox and Chrome, which is they have the same navigation and layout, and then the welcome message are readable and properly aligned. So this means that all the three browser have identical result, meaning that it shows that the code is properly written and also have standard compliance. So this is basically show that our test case for from display are 100% pass rate, meaning that the home page display correctly for every user, no matter what kind of browser that they use. So it is importance of quality assurance because we systematically test every configuration, and also for user experience, meaning that all the users should have the same result or output and the correct experience using different types of browsers. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
So without further ado, let me move on to the next testing, which is the performance testing. Okay, so this is the Apache JMeter. So this is where we do our performance testing. So without further ado, let me just do the testing. So I will run now. Okay, so I will run, and as you can see here, it is running. Okay, so it will stop at 250 samples. Okay, so it has stopped. So what does this mean? So we have the samples, average, median, 90% of the line, 95%, 99%, minimum, maximum error throughout, throughput, and receive and send. So these are how I measure the performance testing using the Apache JMeter. Okay, so samples, it means that I have 250 samples that I have used to test the system. And average is basically the milliseconds that we use. So we have like 329 milliseconds that it takes for all requests. And also the median is the middle response time value, which is the 50%. And 90% line, which means that 90% of the requests completed within the time was basically 508, and 95% line, 99% line is almost the same thing. And minimum, so basically minimum means the fastest response time recorded. So when it comes to this system, it was 19 milliseconds, and maximum is 904 milliseconds. So it took 904 milliseconds to complete a request, and that is the highest number of time recorded. And when it comes to errors, so none of the requests failed. So we had 250 requests, and none of the requests failed. So it means that it has 0% error. And the throughput is basically 24.8 percentage per second. Per second. So it means that how many requests were processed per second. Okay, so it was like 24.8 per second, and receive and send as usual. So this is how we measured the performance of the system, and especially this is only for the ad trainer module. So yeah, this is the thing. So without further ado, let me move on to the next testing, which is the performance testing. Okay, so this is the Apache JMeter. So this is where we do our performance testing. So without further ado, okay, so next will be the optimization for the performance test. So after moving from the JMeter, we have found out that our average time taken, minimum, maximum for the request. So we have derived how long it takes to process the request. So now we'll move on to the optimization, where the total runs, the API, CFR, average time, risk, and also priority score will be calculated automatically through this code. Okay, so without further ado, let me just run this optimization test. To do the optimization, so I click on terminal and I will do the, okay, so I will run Python optimization.py. So when I run this, I will get the scores on the priority. Yeah, so we have this. So the optimization is complete, and also the CSV is produced. So CSV is basically the log that I have. So when I click on the CSV, the same thing is gonna come on. So from this, I have done the optimization for performance based on the article that I have introduced. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much. Okay, so next will be the optimization for the performance test. So after moving from the JMeter, we have found out that our average time taken, minimum